Here we are, hour 3. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. Christine Leahy is joining me, as always, on a Monday. Show's flown by today.
Were you confused with day it was?
No, I was not. I was in Vegas this weekend, got a little bit of a sunburn, actually. It's hot. It's going to be hot, 90 degrees in L.A. today.
No, I can't believe that. It was cold a couple days ago.
Yeah. Let's start with this. You know, in the NBA, I don't think the regular season matters. Don't get me wrong. The good teams, you know, they rest starters. Golden State, you can tell they're kind of half into it. LeBron. For the young teams, Philadelphia Lakers, regular season means more. It means more. But tonight is a rare regular season NBA game where you have a veteran team, and it means everything. So Saturday night, Oklahoma City played the Houston Rockets. Now, the Houston Rockets rested 2 of their better players. Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson didn't play. Gordon's their third best scorer, and Oklahoma City won. Now, after the game, the Rockets head coach admitted, for us, we've got our seating. We're all good. This doesn't mean a ton.
I thought we tasted the playoff atmosphere because these guys are fighting for their lives, and we're not. And, you know, it's human nature. There's no reward in winning. So it's like, you know, they tried. I thought we gave a great effort, but it's not the same with the appropriate amount of fear. You don't have that, so it doesn't propel you. So we weren't real sharp, but, you know, give them some credit. I mean, they played really well, especially the first half. I thought they played great. And we were up 1, and we just didn't in the fourth quarter. We just didn't score like we should.
Okay, fine. Now is tonight. Russell Westbrook and Oklahoma City go to Miami. The game means something for Miami, and Miami's pretty good. Not great, pretty good. Let me put this into context. If Russell Westbrook and Oklahoma City do not win tonight at Miami, there is a chance they won't make the playoffs. And there's an excellent chance they'll be tied with like Denver and Minnesota for the 8th spot in the West. Oh, wait a minute, that's a huge problem because Denver and Minnesota have the tiebreaker with Oklahoma City. This is not me picking on Russell Westbrook. Some people pick this team, Paul Pierce for one, is a dark horse NBA champion. I didn't, but I thought they'd be a 55-win team, 3rd seed, very good. If Russell Westbrook, the MVP, does not make the playoffs with Paul George, an all-star, Steven Adams, one of the top 5-6 bigs in the league, and a Hall of Famer in Carmelo Anthony, it will be the greatest NBA talent, the best collection of NBA players that couldn't make the playoffs. Try to name another. It will be Phi Slamma Jamma of college basketball. When I say Phi Slamma Jamma, you don't name the players. You say, how the hell did they not win a championship? Drexler, Akeem? Guy Lewis couldn't coach. That's what you'll say about Westbrook. Melo, Paul George, Steven Adams, Westbrook couldn't make the playoffs? That guy can't lead. Folks, when I say Kevin Garnett, he won an MVP too. You don't care. First thing you think about is Celtics, KG, and a ring. When I say Derrick Rose, do you think MVP? Nah, broken down point guard. Westbrook, Paul George, Steven Adams, Melo don't make it? That MVP will not define Westbrook. The triple-double will not define him. Being on the best NBA team in league history that couldn't make the playoffs will define it. This is a rare, massive NBA brand-defining game in the regular season for a veteran NBA team where almost no games really matter. Sixers, Lakers, young teams, a lot of games matter. Part of the journey, part of the road trip. Neither has a chance to win a championship this year. Westbrook, Russell, I know everybody thinks I'm rooting against him. I'm not. Because I think if he misses the playoffs, he'll never be the same as a player or a person. I hope OKC gets in. I like sports. I'd love to see him open with Houston or Golden State. So last week, late in the week, there was an event that happened. It actually wasn't scheduled. It wasn't scheduled. Conor McGregor went sort of nuts at the Barclays Center a couple days before the big UFC card, which I watched Saturday. Story today is Floyd Mayweather is going to fight in the UFC. It appears to be happening. Dana White quoted as saying, it's going to happen, Floyd will fight. And for the first time, I actually believe it. Yes, Conor freaked out on Thursday, otherwise known as the single most talked about day outside of the Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight in UFC history. Here's the thing about sports. I don't like Conor McGregor, and I don't like Floyd Mayweather. But I can separate art from the artist. And I'm not telling you to. But I can watch a movie if I think the lead actress or the lead actor's a jerk. I watch football all the time, and I don't necessarily respect all the players and the things they believe in and the things they've done. But for the first time, I actually believe Mayweather's going to fight better than 50% chance. Because right now, WrestleMania talked about. Boxing talked about. UFC not really talked about. Dana White needs Floyd Mayweather, and Dana White knows Thursday at the Barclays Center was not a bad thing for the UFC. In the history of the sport, it was the second most talked about event. A guy throwing a bike rack at a bus and injuring people. I'm not pro or anti-UFC, but when people freaked out about, my takeaway remains, Mayweather and Conor McGregor, if they fought Friday night, 99% of my audience would watch. I don't pay my athletes to be babysitters. I don't elect my athletes like politicians. They are entertainers, period. Mayweather, don't like him. Look at his history. Gross. Conor, juvenile, a bully, Thursday embarrassing. But I'll tell you this. I sat with a group of people Saturday night and watched the UFC fights. And you know what people are talking about? God, I hope Mayweather fights Conor McGregor. I think it's going to happen. Something else that, speaking of the NBA, the regular season and the playoffs are different for two reasons. In the playoffs, everybody's equally rested. Okay? So it's not one of these things where you're rested, been home for a couple days, here comes the tired Raptors or the tired Celtics. So number one, everybody is equally rested. Second thing is everybody's equally vested, meaning the games matter, all of them to every team. We saw this over the weekend. Houston didn't care. OKC desperately cared. Houston rests Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson. Two really good players off the bench. Gordon's their third leading scorer. I love Ben Simmons, and I like a lot Joel Embiid. But I'll tell you here, Philadelphia is not going to reel off 14 straight in the playoffs. And I really like what Philadelphia is. Philadelphia's new juice and new blood in the Eastern Conference. Years ago, Comedy Central had South Park was a really popular show on Comedy Central. And then basically it was unwatchable junk before it and after it for years. They had a show at one point that was called Don't Forget Your Toothbrush. That's sort of the Milwaukee Bucks of Comedy Central. Pretenders. I like basketball. The Eastern Conference now is LeBron, the broken down Celtics, the baby dinosaurs, and no real fun. Philadelphia is fun. But never forget, everybody's equally rested and everybody's equally vested in the playoffs. I think the Sixers can win a first-round series. And because I love watching Simmons play, I think it would be good for the league. But regular season winning streaks for teams without a title do not transfer to playoff success. There were a couple years with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah was young, Taj Gibson. Oh, Chicago Bulls were setting the world on fire in the regular season. And the Celtics had the big three and were resting guys. And then the playoffs came around. And remember LeBron in Cleveland the first time when they didn't have a title yet? 60 wins, 61 wins. Playoffs are completely different basketball. Equally rested, equally vested. The Sixers, it's been fun. I don't see them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, as bad as the East is. Are you hiring? Well, every business needs great people, and there's a better way to find them now. And I was reading a story the other day that Iowa has more jobs than people available. Nebraska, Wisconsin, all-time low unemployment numbers. How do you find a really good employee in this economy where unemployment's never been lower? How about ZipRecruiter? They have matching technology. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter find a candidate within a day. And it doesn't stop there. They spotlight the strongest applications you receive. You never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter.com/herd, H-E-R-D, and do it for free. Unemployment numbers low. Parts of the country, there are more jobs than people. You need matching technology. You need ZipRecruiter.com/herd. It is the smartest way to hire.